Let's go.
Let's go.
Hi, I'm Carissa Dez.
I'm Leon. Leon Houston, Prxtty Sound Lab represent,
Yeah, it's Lil Chaos. I'm repping from Vancouver over here in Portland.
Yo, this is Athen Jones. I'm repping from fucking Springfield. Portland represent. Prxtty fam represent. Love you guys.
Okay, so we're here for It Was All a Dream Festival. Thank you so much for being here. You just performed?
Yeah, it was actually cool. A bunch of people came out, showed love, showed support, and we got to rock the stage and just put on for the city.
Was there how do you feel about like the overall the dynamic of the cast that's here? Are these people artists or are you familiar with
Yeah, so I know my boy YP Lou,
Right, okay.
2K Global. 2K got me on the lineup. I went to high school with him and Lou, so he got me on here. And honestly, I'd say it's pretty diverse. Like everybody here is different in their own ways. Everybody has their own sound. Nobody sounds like the next artist. Everybody's just like original, in my opinion.
What I really like about the show is that there are a lot of very well-known artists, as well as artists who have only their second time performing on stage.
Yeah, me personally, this is like my sixth show this year, and then other people they're like this is their first show or their second show, so it just shows you can grow very fast in this, and you can build connections very fast.
Yeah, and I think the best way to grow is to network and really connect with the community of artists here in Portland.
Absolutely. Within a year and a half, I networked and I connected with people in California. I connected with some pretty big names. I closed for Afro Man about a couple months ago. So networking is everything. It's really not about how much money you have or anything. It's really about who you know. Yes, the money is a big aspect, but it's who you know in this.
Yeah, if somebody's trying to fill a bill, they're gonna are they gonna think about you? Did you connect with them last week? The connections are so important. Do you do any touring?
I haven't, just because I'm recovering from a knee injury right now. So I've kind of been just working and trying to focus on that and getting my finances right. But I think this next year I'm gonna start trying to go down south and get some connections down there, because I'm moving to Houston. So I'm probably gonna start trying to do tours down there, just because it's more of a scene. There's definitely more support music wise. It's just there's a lot of hospitality down south compared to here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my dad's from Texas, so I know that it's only right that I go home and I do it.
Yeah.
So out here, how do you feel about the Portland music scene as a whole? What kind of things would you like to see change? What kind of developing things are you trying to see out here? I don't know.
Me, I need to see collabs, and we need to see collabs with more people that are relevant, because what I noticed out here, no offense to any artists, but I noticed that they get features and stuff, but they don't get them from people that are really in the scene and actively, popping right now. We don't really
chasing. Yeah,
in a way, I would say we don't really have a music scene that artists can be oh, that's their sound. You can go and point out an Oakland, California artist, but you can't really point out a Portland artist in a crowd of people. They don't have a sound. I mean, I guess that's good, but it's kind of bad, because we don't have any pioneers that have been okay, this is Portland. We got a couple people that are relevant, but
at the same time, I think that is what is unique about Portland, is that there's not really this genre or this Portland sound.
It's just Portland.
The genres just kind of melt together, and I think that's Portland. But yeah, so what would you say? What is the genre of music that you create?
Definitely hip hop and R&B. I was heavily influenced by that. I listened to R&B growing up my whole childhood, so it just influenced everything. I'm the type of person, I'd rather throw on some old school Aaliyah over, a bunch of drill music.
Oh my God,
I'm not
Aaliyah. Oh.
Yeah, I like classic
best dancer, the best singer,
90s
most beautiful
R&B.
woman of all time.
Yeah, and then I kind of grew up.
Salt and pepper.
I grew up listening kind of to weird stuff too, like Hobson and stuff like that. So hip hop has a huge influence on me.
Who is?
Hobson. He was one of the weirder artists, like Tech Nine, you know, stuff like
Tech
that.
Nine?
Yeah, I used to.
Einstein, I still like. It's kind of embarrassing, but I literally play that song every day.
Shout out to Hoption on me. That was the first celebrity I ever met. He showed mad love when he came out here to perform. Their last tour on Funk Volume a few years back. He actually, Dizzy Ride, Jared Benton, all that. He actually came out and like left the venue and just walked out and was like showing people. I was the first one to notice him, and you know he was just telling me like basically stick to your dreams, don't give up, you know, and you're actually making it. It's crazy. Like now I'm starting to be in competition with people that I like looked up to.
Yeah, that's wild that you say something about that, because like one of the first times I realized how like, you know, accessible and like, you know, available if you just chase it was when Funk Volume came and toured, and it was the Jared Benton, Dizzy Wright, as Hobson, and they all just were kicking it at Lloyd Center, and like I just like met all of them, and they were just the fucking chill, and they were just like
Lloyd Center?
Yeah, the Lloyd Center.
Lloyd Center isn't even a thing anymore. But
No, it still is. No, it definitely is.
I haven't been around for that long. Lloyd Center was popping back.
I was in high school. It was in high school. I was like 10 years ago.
At shows there?
No, nigga, like a lot
They
of
would
times-
go and kick it there after the shows and stuff
Odd
and show love.
Future used to go there whenever like a lot of artists would go. Like Tyga would go there whenever they had shows.
They wouldn't be Hollywood. Lloyd Center is where
exactly.
they go and like they could just kick it. You know, like everybody would just be cool. They just try to get like
Yep.
autographs. It's never not
It's like they go to
nobody's-
shows and then they go ice skating afterwards. Lloyd Center. I got you.
Yeah, go get some food and some clothes. You know, go see some of the women.
Definitely trying to get on some bitches.
Yeah, now you ain't seeing nothing but homeless people there. It's,
Hell yeah. So do you have any?
it's Portland though.
Do you have any exciting projects that we can look out for?
So I dropped an album last year called Ghetto Messiah. It was a huge project that I've been working on for about the past 4 years. 22 tracks. There's 4 skits in
22
there.
tracks?
Yeah,
Is it like a
22 tracks, no features.
Back in the day, it would have been 2 CDs for that.
Yeah, but so what I did is I went and I looked up, I said, what artist has debuted with no features with over 20 songs? And nobody really did
Nobody.
it. So what I did is I went and I mass created an album with 22 tracks. 4 of them are actually skits that I went and I took separate sound effects and I morphed them together and basically master engineered them myself to make it sound like, if you close your eyes, it sounds like a movie. You know, like you can visually see the skits if you just close your eyes and listen to them.
Okay.
No features on there besides one, and that's because it was the last song that I have on there. It's a song with me and my father that passed away. And basically, I have my engineer bring his voice back to life and have him as a live feature on there. That's the only feature that I have on the album. Besides that, 21 songs, no features, all
hard.
just me. You know, I've been working. You know, I went and found all those beats separate myself. Like everything was me. It was never a manager behind me giving me any ideas. Everything was just off of the what I've seen in the music industry and just regenerated it.
That is so fucking dope. Like just doing it all on your own and like not having features. 22 songs. That's impressive. Yeah, for sure.
I think I'm gonna drop a project sometime like next year, but it's only gonna be like an EP. Like I put in too much work on this album. I got too much videos to do now and stuff. So I'm gonna wait on releasing more tracks and just try to put more visuals behind it so people can get a real scope of my dream, you know, and start to see it. Yeah, and have a real
you already
impact.
have 22 new songs out there, so
Yeah, so they're gonna have to chill. It's gonna have to chill for about a year.
So you have. We're just gonna keep dropping 22 new songs. You know, 22 fucking no features, a whole album. Like what? Can you give me like take me through like your creative process? Like what? How do you start? Like how do you know you're done? That's one of the biggest things. How do you know when you're done, bro?
Yeah. So with me, maybe it's just because I'm a Capricorn. I don't know, but I'm a perfectionist with everything. So I spent probably 5 years total on working on this, and I kind of had an upper hand because 3 of those years I was locked up. So
yeah, you were saying.
Yeah, I was locked up for a juvenile life case. So I got to focus my.
yeah. So you just focus on that.
I got to focus my energy a lot more than most people get to because, you know, out here you got distractions. You got to work. You got to work a job. You know, you got to take care of kids. You got to pay bills. You got to do all this. When you're in jail, you don't really got to worry about none of that. You're pampered. You're taken care of by the state. So like I had a lot of time in that box to just just write and write and write. And I kind of like, I came up with my creative process in there. I noticed all you really got to do is just zone out, separate yourself from all distraction.
Yeah.
You know, maybe smoke if you choose to, but if you just zone out and just put yourself in that room and just listen to it over and over and over and over again, eventually it'll just start becoming nature. Like it's to the point now I can hear beats and I can make a song in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
3 years ago I couldn't make a song in a month. Like it would irritate me. Like, but that's just you. That's the creative process. You got to keep working. You got to keep hearing it. You got to keep doing it over and over. Like I probably listened to a beat 500 times before I even record the song, or even execute. And then probably another 500 times before I even release it. You know, because it's just like I'm so stickler on every single thing, and that's why I did the 22 tracks, just because like I wanted to show like, you know, I'm different. I got a different drive.
I mean, you got a crazy
I'm
story
from a different
too.
nature.
Like, you got a good story. You got a good head on your shoulders. You know, like you're fucking like I like it's really interesting. Like, you know, just to hear like I was talking to you a little bit earlier about, you know, how you say you're presenting your writing and stuff, because I've heard so many stories about people writing like just crazy shit when they're locked up. It's a blessing and a curse, it sounds like, for your
absolutely
process.
I mean, I say it was God's plan at the end of the day, you know, because I went down for 3 years for something I never even did. So I feel like that's God's plan, you know. He put me in there. He showed me you got to take away all your distractions. You got to focus on what you want. And when you do, you can go and you can set history by doing that.
Yeah, that's crazy, because I usually ask artists, like, how do you get in the mindset to create music, to write your music?
Prison saved my life. Like if I didn't go to jail, I probably would have crashed out and done something stupid in the streets and ended up going to jail for longer or dying, you know?
Yeah.
But jail, I went to jail a month after I had
you already had a goal, so.
Yeah, like I was lost, you know, I was a lost teenager with just a dream. But now, like, I seen that once you take that first step, if you just put some action behind it, your dream can become reality in no time, you know? Now I got features with artists that I was just looking up to last year, you know, opening shows for them.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I think there's definitely an upward trajectory for you. You know, I feel like you got a great story. You got to, you know, like very, very cool to hear. Very good to talk to you.
Yeah, and like you said that you wanted to make 22 tracks for your record to be unique, and I think that's what sets artists apart. Like you can make music that is like poppy, like similar to everything else on the scene, but you got to find something that is, you know, that sets you apart.
Exactly.
You know?
And it was
that's how you go up.
It was symbolic too, because most of this music stuff that I do is for my cousin Tutu that passed away. That's a number. You know, I got Tutu World tatted right here. My favorite number is
like all your tattoos have meaning, like
all of them.
So your little chaos tattoo up here.
I got one on my neck. That's my artist name, and I go by Lil Chaos because my father went by Chaos. And
I was about to ask
I'm a little version of him.
Talk about that.
I got Messiah right here with music notes, because, you know, my family, they're believers in God, and they're the one that always told me keep faith and, you know, keep praying, and He will make it right.
You're a
you know,
motherfucker right here. Okay, like okay.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. So was your dad an influence on you musically?
A lot of people were influenced, but I'm gonna tell you, my dad is the reason why I do everything that I do today. Like, if I'm a spitting image of my father, if I didn't have my dad, you know, if my dad wasn't who my dad was, I wouldn't be who I am. You know, like
Calm down. I'm not trying to cry today.
If you look like that's me and my dad right there. Me and him are exactly alike. I'm a little version of him, you know. So everything I do is just it's for him. So yeah, Lil Chaos for him, Messiah, because, you know, I feel like with this music, you're the voice. You know, you're put on a pedestal and you're put in front of people in order to influence them. So it's up to you to tell the truth. You know, even if you get castrated for it, you still need to tell the truth. You don't need to mislead the youth, because a lot of the youth are being misled in hip hop community. They're thinking that stuff is worth it, and it's really not. And I'm the person to tell you, I've been there in that situation. I went through it. It's not worth it. Yes, I ended up getting lucky, but what are the chances of that actually happening? You know, I'd rather somebody go and avoid a prison sentence and go and find this another way, you know, and turn it positive. Besides, you know, having to go through all of that turmoil and all of that stress of losing family, losing years of your life, it's not worth it.
Sure, and I feel like maybe that's like what your calling is, like showing people that, you know, like you went through that. They don't need to go through that. Absolutely. This is what you need to do. This is the path you need to take without having to go to fucking jail.
And a majority of your fans that you're going to have are going to be younger people.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure that the younger people that you're distributing your music to, that you're putting out the right image for them, or else they're going to be going and creating negativity in the world. And you don't want that, because that doesn't, it seems like it's profitable, but in the end of the day, it's not profitable, because then you can't go and do shows. You can't be on the radio if you're talking about certain stuff, you know, so it ends up hindering you. So you got to make sure that what you're talking about is politically correct.
You know, a lot of times with like, I feel like when people resonate with an artist, it's because they see a reflection of themselves. You know, they see like it, like I think there's nothing that will beat like integrity and just being honest as an artist. Like, even if you're like saying the craziest, most fucking like, you know, violent hood shit, but if it's real, like people like will relate to that.
Tupac used to say that all the time.
Say that shit in your drink, people know that you're fake. Anyway.
But yeah, back to the album. Yeah, 22 is just a big thing for me, because my cousin, his nickname was Tutu. I released the track when I was 22 years old. There's 22 tracks on there. It's just, yeah, the number
like
just
how
really.
there's more meaning behind that.
Yeah, it's just more. It's just symbolic, you know. Like I don't know. Music is just like, it's my everything. It's more than just like a source of income for me. Like, it's really how I get through my depression, you know, how I deal with my daily life. If I'm going through something, I'll put it in a song, and then I'll be able to express how I feel. Like, I don't know about other people, but like, as a man, it's hard for me to express how I feel. So, you know, the music is the only way for me to do that. Like, I can't sit there and tell a woman how I feel, but I can write a song and then she will understand. Yeah. Okay, that, you know, it's a deeper type of level than just something normal.
No, I mean, I think that's pretty common, honestly, like expressing yourself through music. But also, do you feel like it's like therapeutic to the listeners as well? Like,
absolutely. They can listen to me and they can heal from their trauma. Literally, they can hear me and they can relate to it. You know, they can get some peace just by understanding that somebody else understands, you know, seeing that somebody else has been through it, and if they can make it, you can make it too.
For sure.
You could like, I honestly think you could really have a extremely powerful influence, just, you know, having gone through the being incarcerated, you know, like that alone. Like, I keep circling back to that, because like that alone will, like, you could use that. So like, there's so many people out there that are on some hot shiesty shit, and like they really just need to be fucking redirected, you know.
Yeah, and my plan is, the institution that I was at, they took one cell in each of the wings in each unit, and they put a studio in there. So my plan is to actually go back to that institution and try to open up musical programs, you know, and try to open up outlets for the youth that are in there, so they don't have to resort back to the streets. Because the reason why the recidivism rate is so high is because they're throwing us in these jail cells, but they're not giving us no skills to go home with.
Yeah.
So you're throwing us back into the jungle with less skills, and imagining, and just, you're assuming that we're gonna succeed, and it's impossible.
Well, you're getting shamed, like when you're like incarcerated and you're not learning.
Because we got a target on our back now.
You know.
You know what? I can make a whole podcast episode about the prison system, like the
prison reform.
Like, it's a whole fucking thing. I'm not even gonna get into it, but yeah, like
it's
just
the injustice
fact that
system.
You're like putting a light on that and influencing young people. That is such
misguided young people, you know, because a lot of us are just misguided. That's all it is. We're not bad people, you know. We're not stupid. We're not any of that. We're just young and misguided.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. I feel like, man, this fucking guy, like, been so real.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for the opportunity of me coming out.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Here, can you give her a little death look that you gave me the other day? Hey.